It was the 1980s, and the toy line named Transformers was new and popular. Unlike other toy lines at the time, Transformers was marketed as having its own story and mythos. Throughout the decades, Transformers would grow even more popular with boys, so much that it was inevitable that Hollywood would make a big budget movie franchise out of it. Because the fourth one's coming out soon, I'm gonna give my thoughts on the Transformer movies. It was the mid-2000s, and director Michael Bay was directing the movie The Island. On set, he was given a call from Paramount Pictures to see if he would be interested in directing Transformers. After he accepted and hung up, he said, "Great, I'm gonna have to do a toy movie?" Well, like Michael Bay, I was skeptical too. When I heard they were making a Transformers movie, I thought to myself, that's such a stupid idea. What, that cartoon with stiff animation? Give me a break. Even after hearing all the positive reviews and seeing the trailers for it, I was still skeptical. I went to go see it and it exceeded my expectations big time. Transformers is about two groups of robots, the Autobots and the Decepticons, fighting over a device called the Cube. The Cube is a device that created life for them, and if the Decepticons get their hands on it, they can take over the universe. But the movie centers more around a high school student named Sam Witwicky, played by Shia LaBeouf, who finds out that his new car is a Transformer. He later gets introduced to the rest of the Autobots and their leader Optimus Prime, voiced by Peter Cullen. There are two other subplots involving a group of military people and some other tech people trying to figure out the arrival of the Transformers. I would say that this would be a bad decision because there are way too many characters in this movie, but it works because they make the story bigger and delivers on some nice comedic moments.
Also, sir, have you heard about our Premium Plus World Service Gold package?
No, I don't want a premium package! She did it! She did it! She's the one you want!
The villains who go up against the Autobots are the Decepticons. Their leader is Megatron, voiced by Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving as a bad guy? Shocking. Transformers has all the ingredients of a blockbuster movie. Lots of action, explosions, comedy, and lots of special effects. Speaking of which, the effects for this movie are amazing. Even nowadays, I still believe that helicopter transforming looks very real. But that's not great CGI, that's Megan Fox. I give Transformers 3.5 stars out of 4. Just a few years later, Transformers would be followed up by Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. The budget was bigger, the CGI heavier, and Michael Bay was given more control. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen takes place 2 years later where Sam discovers a shard from the cube and he starts to see alien letters. The lettering are clues to the Fallen, who was the founder of the Decepticons. While this is going on, the Decepticons are rising up and threatening the world if Sam is not given to them. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was more successful at the box office than its predecessor, but Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was panned by critics big time. In fact, this was the first time where I remember being confused why the critics didn't like it. Critics criticized it from top to bottom, saying that it was too loud, the story had many holes in it, and accusing the twins of being racist stereotypes. Personally, I generally disagree with the critics. But remember, key word is generally. First, the twins are not racist stereotypes. The Autobots said that in the first movie that they picked up on human languages by using the internet, and it was no surprise they used that to work into their personalities. So just because two of them decide that they want to talk in a certain particular way is not racist. In fact, they must think it's cool if they pick that one out of all the languages.
Read? No, we don't really do much reading.
In their defense, how often do you see the Transformers reading? Second is the sound. It wasn't that loud. Obviously the critics who saw this one were probably old, but there are some problems that I did have with Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. For instance, how does this Decepticon jump out instantly on impact? During the fight scene with the Transformers, it goes from being an abandoned building to a forest all of a sudden. I didn't notice this at first because it's such a cool fight scene, but editing wise it just feels like a big slip up. Speaking of editing, there was a funny character named Wheelie that I really liked. Then for some reason when they get to Egypt, he disappears from the movie altogether. During the Egypt fight scene, I was kinda scratching my head on why didn't they just get Bumblebee to take them over to the location and take the more dangerous route on foot. Finally is the Fallen. He was a really cool villain, but sadly, his fight scene with Optimus Prime is only about 2 minutes long and the Fallen felt like a waste. Putting those complaints aside, I did enjoy this one. It may be a step down from the first one, but it's a popcorn flick and I'm glad I went to go see it. I give Transformers Revenge of the Fallen 2.5 stars out of 4. So stay tuned next time where I review Dark of the Moon and Age of Extinction.